ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla Atomic Blast version. And up first, let's take a look at the box. It's this nice solid blue color with a very stylistic approach to it. Don't know why the Atomic Blast on the box is just photoshopped in and not actually using the atomic blast that the figure comes with. But heyo, for the most part, this is a fresh take on a Hiya Toys box, and I quite enjoy it, yes. And what a fine specimen he is, yes. Really a big fan of all of the different blues that are going to be present here. A mixture of darks and lights on the top of his head, highlighting all of that fantastic detail. A magnificent baby blue for the teeth and inside of the mouth plus tongue. And I feel like this is the first time we've actually seen Hiya just paint the teeth and not the area around the teeth plus teeth. And this looks pretty good. Even with the mouth closed, it's a pretty coherent vision we've got going on here. Love the addition of those lifeless white eyes as well. But now let's take a look at the neck and the torso where, holy shit! It's glossy and metallic and oh. Yeah, I'm not going to gush on this area for long, but I really like how this looks, especially moving into the torso. I like that we get a little bit of fall off on the shoulder blade over here. I just wish we saw a little bit more of that over here. Yeah, it's not there. Is it? There's a little bit over here, okay. Oh yeah, really enjoying how the goji, titty, and ab areas be looking. My boy got some blue ballage going on over here and on the inside of his thighs. Not something that needed to be done, and for all I know, this was a mistake, but you know what? When it comes to Atomic Blast figures, it is my preference that they are covered in the color of their atomic breath, heat ray, whatever we're going to officially call it. I don't know, it just adds a hell of a lot more character to the figure, I feel. Let's look at the tail. I'm a big fan of fans and painting your tail all the way to the tip. Thank you, Hiya. The tail's details being highlighted by this very bright blue does it nothing but favors, I feel. It might not be the stylistic choice that people were hoping for, but we got it, and I mean, I really like it, so yeah. Moving back on up to the neck for a tick, I just wanted to highlight that all three of the neck pieces moving into the head are all going to be painted blue. There isn't going to be that weird portion of a neck where it's not fully painted. In fact, forgive me, Goji. There we go. As you can see, they're all fully painted. There is no copping out here. Hiya went above and beyond to make sure the blue image was not interrupted no matter how you pose the neck. Make that ass drop down, make that ass drop. Make the neck pop. This was just something I wanted to showcase since this figure pretty much allows it. Although ripping this guy's head off as many times as I have, I'm pretty sure the other ones could do that too, but I don't want to try. Now let's take a look at these dorsal fins. Something that I love when it comes to Atomic Blast figures is just that it seems like it's never going to end, and I mean that in a very positive way because I don't think we have an Atomic Blast figure with this getup. I know many people were hoping for some translucent dorsal fins, but I love this. The dark blue at the tip, moving into a lighter blue, moving into a white at the root. It's fantastic. It's fuck. Yeah, I really enjoy how this looks, and I especially really enjoy how glossy the tips of the dorsal fins are. In fact, I think all of the dorsal fins are pretty much glossy. Yep, but look at how the details just get highlighted in the light. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, this is a fun little paint job. I'm especially a big fan of how mixed his back is. There's blues, there's whites, sometimes there's more white than blues, but again, this is one of those cases where it just kind of works. We will get some spots of blue, possibly in areas they're not meant to be, but for the most part, it's like I said earlier. I like when my Atomic Blast figures are messy. Messy in the neat way. A heaping helping of controlled chaos of color and all that good stuff, and I personally feel Hiya knocked it right out of the park. All of this gushing over the paint, and the detail remains the same. It's impressive, it looks great. I'm not going to repeat paint and detail for Atomic Blast Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla. Absolutely 2 solid stars. Now, let's take a look at this guy's accessories. Up first, we have the alternate head, which is going to look exactly like the normal head, save for not having a lot of teeth. We can get a closer look at some of the details here, though, and you can actually see the pupil is part of the sculpt. Wow. Unless that was just a chunk of paint and it's not part of the sculpt, because that's what it's looking like on this side. Could be. Maybe. Who knows? Same amount of paint that we're going to get on the other's head, except this one could have used a little bit more white. And yes, like I said, he's not going to have very much teeth, and you will see why once we take a look at the heat ray. And of course, nothing of major note going on the back. The alternate neck piece is going to be done up the same exact way as the standard neck is. Glossy, shiny, lovely. Beautiful upon beautiful amounts of detail. Very blue, very blank, very nice. And now for the atomic breath, or heat ray, whatever you would like to call it. I don't think there is any paint on this thing, but the detail alone is magnificent. Got a nice dark blue where the beam breaks, and it only gets brighter as it gets closer to the tip, which goes inside Godzilla's mouth. And yes, this thing's a friggin' brick, and more ways than one. Allow me to demonstrate as I play the drum. It's solid. Very solid. Here, check this out. Yeah, solid. Now, letting your powers combine like a Captain Planet episode, that's basically how you apply the atomic breath. And you can see why he's got no teeth on the bottom, because that would have been just pointless. Well, with all that being said, let's just apply the neck and head, shall we? Now, it is entirely possible to get the alternate head on this neck right here. It just won't be able to aim up because, yeah, this heat ray's pretty heavy. Now let's just get that on there. And with the articulated neck, he'll look a little bit like that. But thankfully, you can pop this out of his mouth, switch her on over, and you can have him aiming down. Here he is looking down, and I gotta say, it's a little awkward looking. When looking at it from the side over here, it almost kind of looks like he's firing it directly out of the roof of his mouth and not the back of his throat. Looks a lot better from the front, though. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah, I mean, this looks a little awkward, doesn't it? Yeah, even from down here, it looks a little awkward. Now, since Hiya Toys are ones to experiment and try and fix some of the things that they do on prior figures, maybe they'll end up fixing this. Or maybe it's just me and this guy over here who think this is just a little awkward. I don't know. Maybe Hiya Toys will think of something new for another Atomic Blast release, or maybe it'll just stay this way. At least they were cool enough to make this Atomic Breath piece bi-positional, because it goes both ways. But anyway, let's get the heat ray out. Let's get this... Oh wow, I actually got it on pretty good that time. Cool. Wow, just look at that ball joint. Now, a word to the wise from someone not so wise. Make sure the ball joint is pointed all the way up as far as it can go when putting on the alternate neck, as that will be the only way you will be able to make a connection of the ball joint to the back of the head. You will kind of have to center it out like so, and then just lightly give it a push. You should feel a little bit of a pop. That means you did it right. Now let's just get the heat ray in there. And blammo, we have Godzilla aiming his atomic breath up just like that one scene in KOTM. Before I go on any further, I just wanted to make note of this. In the comment section down below, there will be a link to this video's figure, but there's also going to be a link to my friend Gamer Manila's eBay page. They're going through a bit of a hard spot in their life right now, and they're selling off some of their collectibles, as listed here. So if you have the time or the money and you have the kindness in your heart to help a bro out, please go ahead and do so. It would mean a lot to them and me if we could help them out right now. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Very much in favor of the fact that Hiya Toys went for a glossier, translucent look for the heat ray, atomic breath, whatever. I've been calling it everything in this video, because it really does add to a flashy display. It's just the display is still kind of awkward looking. A little less awkward than when he's like aiming down. I don't know, maybe it's because I was looking at the end of the atomic blast too long, because all I see is just a curve. But regardless, the heat ray looks fantastic, either being posed up or down, even if I do find it to be kind of awkward. Now, since this neck is a solid piece, posing here isn't really going to be possible. But then again, who is expecting to pose a solid piece? Not me. I do give Hiya credit, though. With all the retooling they did of the neck, I guess they knew they wouldn't be able to get Godzilla to aim all the way up, so they gave us an alternate option. And it absolutely does look nice from far away and up close, I think. Without the help of some multi-segmented ball joint torsoisms, and a little bit more give at the neck. Yeah, there will be an obvious curve to how he is aiming. Future Rob here. I was letting some clips render, I was messing around with the figure, and, I figured something out. You move the torso to the side like that, bring it back as far as you can get it, and he's still going to be aiming at a bit of an angle, but this looks a lot better. I wasn't trying to communicate that I was upset with the angle of which he was aiming. It was more so just this, the angle of the heat ray over here. It just looks awkward. I don't think I properly communicated that, so now I did, and now present, past Rob. Days of Future Rob. So like paint and detail, accessories are going to get a solid star. Anyway, articulation. Neck can go back about that far, head up about that far, jaw can open about that far, tongue can move up about that far, and then back down. Godzilla can look from side to side. You can't really look down still. That's as down as you're gonna get it. And of course, he can swivel at the head. Arms can move out about that far and then just bring them back in. You will be able to swivel at the shoulders over here, swivel at the bicep, bend out and bend in, swivel at the wrist, minimal up and down motion at the wrist. We will get a bit of an ab crunch going on over here. Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to push this. Yeah, that far down and then right on back up. Bring it back to the center for some rotationals over here. Pretty sure, yeah, he can go all the way around. Just gonna have to work that so the dorsal fins don't rub up against one another. You don't want that. Out and in, out and in. Legs can kick up and all the way around. Thank Primus. We'll get a lovely bend at the knee. Ball joint at the shin area over here so it can swivel. And we'll get a full rotazione at the ankle over here, aiding us in a pretty decent enough pivot. And then we have the stereotypical ball-jointed tail, which either can or can't hold a pose, and this one definitely feels like it was improved upon. I don't know, the tail doesn't really sag when I pose it up. Okay, yeah, it just sagged. Fuck me. I lied. I'm sorry. But it doesn't sometimes. It's weird. So I guess that means it is improved. Oh, yeah, we can get a nice little curve out of it as well. Probably the deepest curve I've been able to get out of a Hiya Godzilla so far. And that's pretty much it. I'll give articulation a solid star. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I feel like the bend at the elbow over here was somewhat reduced. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like it goes back a lot further than it does in. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right. Articulation gets a solid star, no complaints from me. Size comparisons. KOTM, Hiya Goji. GvK V1 Goji. Hiya Monkey. Hiya Burb. Hiya Muth. Jack-specific Atomic Blast Godzilla. Ooh. Playmates Atomic Blast Godzilla, or Godzilla with Radio Tower. Was this Radio Tower? I don't fucking care. NECA Atomic Blast Godzilla. Legacy Evolution Megatron. Sham GvK Goji. Sham Spitfire Goji. I just hope we can improve on the atomic breath a little bit. Wow, look at the way it catches the light. Holy shit. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky with this, but I don't know. I feel like just like a straight part right there would probably be better. Although that might lead to warping, because then the weight, and then it would bend, so you know what, I'll get over it. And who knows, maybe in time, Hiya Toys will perfect their neck and we'll be able to get a fully ball-jointed neck that can look all the way up. If not, I really don't care though, because I'm not a stop-motion animator. Anyway, I have been ShinRobjira. Do so hope you enjoyed this review. Sorry it took so long. Blame USPS in Chicago. And when next we meet, which should hopefully be on Monday, let's see how this one goes. See you then. Almost. I haven't been recording this entire time.